guys, my name is Olivia and I welcome you to another episode of our financial literacy series. Today we'll be talking about financial planning, and with me here is my colleague Seun. We'll be having conversation around financial planning, considering that it's festive period, it's Christmas. We also need to bring to mind for people to know that don't spend frivolously just because it's the festive period. So this financial planning we're going to talk about today will also relate to personal finance. And in doing that, we've actually outlined some key questions that we don't want to miss out. And I hope and I know that Seun is going to give us answers to those questions. So, Mr. Seun, how are you today?
Very fine, Olivia.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm very well, thank you. So, first of all, I want to know what you understand by financial planning.
Financial planning. Financial planning is a process of managing a business or individual financial situation. Financial planning will give you a global picture of what your current spending pattern is. In order to achieve a long-term financial success, there's always a need to have a financial plan. Financial planning itself is a program designed to achieve a predetermined financial goal. So you really can't achieve a financial success unless you have an implementable financial plan. And it is not enough to just have a financial plan. You must stick to that plan. Plan is like a working document to achieve a financial purpose or financial goal. Financial planning will force you to assess the current financial situation, and then it will help you to put in place programs to be able to achieve your financial goal. Sticking to financial plan is as important as having a plan.
What you just explained now, what financial planning is, would we equate it to financial budget? Are they the same thing?
Not really. A budget is a component of a financial plan. A budget is an estimate of your revenue and expenditure for a specific period of time. And budget would help you to monitor your spending, and then it will also help you to track your spending. So when that is done from your budget, you'll be able to know where and what needs to be amended, and then you can move forward. So a budget is actually not a financial plan, but it's a subset of a financial plan.
Okay, so now let's bring this down to, this is a festive period, Christmas time. People are making plans, in organizations now, people are expecting like bonuses and all whatnot. For you now, what do you think someone should do financially, like around this period? Would you advise them to go out of their budget and then spend all those bonuses just because they got all those bonuses this period, like frivolous spending, impulse buying? What would you advise?
Yes, two categories of people. People who currently have a financial plan, or people who currently run a budget wouldn't have problem with this season, because they already have a guiding plan on what to buy, what they are expecting, what they also expect to spend, and so that wouldn't be a problem for them. But for those who don't have a budget currently, it's going to be much of an issue for them, because they will see inflow from everywhere, sometimes unexpected inflow, like bonuses, like 13th months, like what have you. And because the inflow wasn't expected, it was not also planned for, you see them buying all they can, and at the end of the day, by January, they discover that they are in financial mess, because bills like school fees, rent will now begin to crystallize, and then there will be problem meeting those financial obligations. So this takes us back to the need to have a functional financial plan. And like we said, a subset, a component of every financial plan, workable financial plan, is budget. So if you have budgeted for your revenue and then your expense, you wouldn't go out of your way even when you have inflow, because all of those inflow have been captured in your budget, and then this expense have already been estimated.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. So now, you're a father, and a husband, and I'm sure that this month, I'm sure our wives are already writing a list of things for you to buy this month. So what happens when you see something on the list that you did not expect to see? Because it's Christmas time and you expected to spend and make people happy and all whatnot. So what would you say when you see something on your list that was not expected?
It's going to be very difficult for somebody like me, because when I'm drawing up my budget, all of these factors are already taken into consideration. But for someone who currently has a budget and this and some items that wasn't in the list are now coming up, I think what they should do is to, I wouldn't advise them to, I think there could be some sort of compromise for now, because you also need to keep your family happy.
Yes.
But while you're doing that, you shouldn't do that at the expense of your financial success, at the expense of achieving your financial goal. So that is key. The short term, you see, when you're setting your financial goal, there's what we call the short-term financial goal and what we call the long-term financial goal. So you shouldn't achieve your short-term financial goal at the expense of your long-term financial goal. What is important to you as a person, long-term financial goal is more important to you as a person than your short-term financial goal.
That's true. So, with everything that's happened in 2020, financially, economically, mentally, anything you can think of, what's your projection or your forecast about financially for 2021? And let's say for the first quarter of 2021.
First quarter of 2021. 2021 is going to be a little difficult financially. Speaking to the dwindling revenue on the part of the federal government, because in this climate, federal government is a major spender.
Yes.
And most businesses revolve around the government in Nigeria. Recently, the news of Nigeria entering into recession and the worst recession since 1987 or thereabout. So all of the impacts of that might not be felt now, or may not be felt now, but by 2021, I think the impact of all of that will be on the economy. And whatever happens to the economy happens to the people within the economy.
That's nice. So, so finally, I think I want you to, what's your advice? I said, as I said earlier, with the bonuses and the inflows that people are going to get this period, what's your advice to people you get against the first quarter of 2021 in order to cushion any effects you get for the first quarter of 2021?
So for people, my advice for people that currently have a budget, please stick to your budget. Stick to your plans. But for people who don't have, I think the earlier the better. I think this is the right time to come up with a plan. Look at all the possible revenue or income in December, and then come up with a list of possible expense, and ensure while you are doing that, ensure that you do not spend all that you earn. It's key. Make sure you make a deliberate effort to make savings from your inflow. Look at your inflow based on your capacity, and make sure that you save at least 20% of your inflow. So
you kept talking about savings. So I'm wondering, what's the difference between savings and investment? So which do you think is better when it comes to your finances?
Actually, the savings is good. Investment is better. Savings, you are saving against emergencies.
Yes.
If you have a financial plan and there are emergencies unplanned for, that will disrupt your plan. So, but if you have savings in place, to meet unforeseen contingencies, you will be stable and your financial plan becomes implementable. No one gets rich by just saving. If you really want to be successful financially, you must be an ardent investor.
So finally, Mr. Seun, what's your plan for the festive period?
My plan for festive period, they are all captured in my budget, and any plan that is not within my budget is not implemented.
So you're not living the YOLO life, you only live once, just relax and be taken care of. It's not applying to you this period?
Relax and be taken care of.
Yes.
I think I'm still young. now is the time to do the work, to make the money. It's time to make the money, and then a time will come when I will relax and be taken care of.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much, Seun. Thank you so much, Seun, for coming in for our financial literacy series, which centered on financial planning. And I would like to reiterate what he said, last few things he said about savings and investment. You've come to learn that savings cannot make you rich, but investment will make you rich, and then also sticking to your budget. So let's not go out this season spending frivolously just because we have those extra incomes coming in. This is the time, to plan towards your 2021. And I will say it again, especially the first quarter of 2021, try as much as possible to work within your budget and not to spend just because you have the money. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye.